Hello, in this video, I am going to show you how to create a VPC with Subnet and security group on Brainboard. The first thing I'm going to do is to create it from scratch. Then I'm going to choose AWS as my cloud provider. For the first resource, I'm going to drag and drop a region, and I'm going to modify the resource name and the region itself. I'm going to include it in Paris. I will make this resource bigger. And here I'm going to include a VPC. So VPC is this one. Now I'm going to modify the resource name and the side block. Here I will make this VPC bigger to include now an AZ in the VPC and in the region. I'm going to configure it. So the resource name is going to be AZ and the advanced configuration is going to be like that. Then I will make bigger. Here I will create a subnet, VPC subnet. I'm going to modify its resource name and the side block as well as a variable. We are going to make it bigger to include now a gateway. The resource name is going to be this, and the allocation ID is to be modified, completed. Now I need to have a network ACL. So it's this one included in the subnet, and I'm going to modify its resource name. And then I will include now a route table association is here, still in the subnet. Now I'm going to modify its resource name and the route table ID. Now I will include the EC2 this one in the VPC this time. I'm going to modify it by saying the resource name is this one, so it's good to go. I'm going to create a connector between these two resources, and the connector I'm going to call it allocation ID. Here I'm going to create another subnet it's not a VPC subnet, so actually you need to be careful. It's just a subnet. So it's this one. Here the resource name is this one, and the side block is created. I'm make it bigger to include now a row table association. Here, I'm going to modify the resource name and complete the resource table ID. The net ACL, network ACL. This one. Now I can modify the resource name like that. And now a NAT gateway here. I will modify the NAT gateway resource name as well as the allocation ID. Perfect. Now it's on the same line. Then now I'm going to include EC2. In the VPC, I'm going to modify its resource name and create a connector between these two resources, allocation underscore ID. And now I need another routing table, and I'm going to modify the resource name and the VPC ID is good. Create a connector between these two resources. The connector is going to be called route table ID. And same thing for this one. So create a connector between this one and this one, route table ID. I need an internet gateway. Here. So this, I will make it bigger. Like that, for the purpose of the design. And this, I will create a connector between these two elements. So it's going to be gateway and ID. Now I need to include another AZ. I will modify the resource name and it is on 3B. In the resource, and then in the resource name, I'm going to add a subnet. Here. Resource name is going to be this one. Inside the block this one. So we are good to go. I will need to make it bigger like that. And now I will include a security group. In the subnet, I will modify the resource name and then I need another AWS subnet. The resource name is on the side of block. So we're good. Here I just check if the side of block is perfect. And then a security group. Modify the resource name. And we're good to go now. And now I will create the variables. So we have the private subnet sender. It needs to be private subnet sender. It needs to be a string. The default is going to be this. 8. Then public subnet sender is still going to be a string. And the default is going to be this one. 8, and the last one is going to be still a string, and the default is going to be this one. So now I actually showed you how to create your variables, how to design and get the code automatically generated, and now we're going to look at the deploy. So the deploy, we have the main.tf and the other TF files, and now we can actually do a plan. Here Brainboard will actually give us the Terraform init. The Terraform init initiate is and the state lock. Everything is green. As Brainboard is a collaborative solution, meaning one of your colleagues, if he tries to do an apply, then Brainboard will actually detect it. So you need to switch off the plan before you can do the apply, and then you will be able to deploy it. Here we also created, we let you create your own custom Terraform provider definition, and once you have written down and created it, actually you will find it in the provider. Here I can show you, for example, the versioning. So create new version, it's initial design. And let's say I want to delete the internet gateway. I said deleted resource. And now you can go there and there if you want. And I'm going to create the cloud architecture, convert it into organization or public. Then it's good. Actually, it's this one. We don't need to be cloned anymore. And then here it's good to go publish.